My name is Michael Cuccione, and on July of 1994, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, which is a form of cancer. I then underwent 6 months of chemotherapy and was believed to be cured and doing great, but unfortunately I relapsed afterwards and had to go through heavy chemotherapy, a bone marrow transplant, and 12 radiation treatments.
I'll never forget the day while he was going through his treatments. He looked at the children at the hospital with him and said, "Dad, what if the cure is in one of these children?"
My bone marrow transplant was devastating, and the heavy chemotherapy that I got was terrible. Along with everything else that I had to go through, losing my hair twice and being made fun of from people that you thought were your friends, and just emotional and physical problems that go on with this disease.
These experiences and the pain he saw other children suffer has motivated him to raise money for cancer research.
I wrote 5 songs and I've got a CD out to raise money for cancer research.
I feel that God blessed me with this disease.
Why do you say that?
Because I would not have come up with this disease, and I would not be giving back to those that I had left behind and those that are still suffering to this day.
Knowing that some of these children would not make it, and some would. But to me, that's what continues to inspire me. Seeing the children who pass away, the children who have to suffer, the children who make it. All of these children continue to inspire me to want to make a difference, and I'm never going to stop. Mark my words, never going to stop. We are going to see this cure.
Can only do so much, but together we can make a difference.
Hi, I'm Dominic and Gloria Cuccione, and we're proud and honored to be ambassadors of compassion. We are the luckiest parents to have had a beautiful son that motivated and inspired people. Although he only lived 16 years and 8 days. But what he accomplished in that short time was amazing. My wife and I were gifted, chosen to be Michael's parents. That young man taught me and my wife what true meaning of life is, and how to respect one another, and how to encourage people to forgive, because in life, we all have certain problems that face us, and we have to learn to accept and also to forgive.
We had a beautiful boy, 9.5 years old, almost a perfect life, and he got diagnosed with cancer. He landed in the oncology clinic sharing a room with a baby that was born with cancer, celebrating his first birthday. And our son said to us, "I can't believe babies are born with cancer, I need to do something." And so he ended up getting meningitis on his 4th month of chemotherapy, and he landed in isolation and asked his father to bring in his keyboard, and he wrote his first song called "Make a Difference." And unfortunately, we thought everything was going to be behind us, and he relapsed a year to the date and ended up going through a bone marrow transplant with his own stem cells. And still, at the end of all those 2 bouts of cancer, he ended up putting a CD out, and he called it "Make a Difference." And he raised $130,000 with the sale of his CDs And we went to Children's Hospital. They said, what do you want to do with the money, Mike? He says, I want to fund young researchers for childhood cancer, or we're not going to have them in the future. Everybody about fell off their chair. Well, guess what? He raised $2.5 million before he took his last breath at 16 and 8 days old, and accomplished more than most people do in a lifetime. But he started his own foundation, and we had to decide, how are we going to go on after we lost him? And we had a lot of things to go through and let go of. And imagine the very hospital that our son took his last breath is the very hospital that we have raised over $34 million. And we have the Michael Cuccione Childhood Cancer Research Program at BC Children's Hospital Research Institute.
Michael wanted people to know that he beat his cancer not once but twice. But due to complications over the years, we lost Michael with respiratory failure. We had to learn to accept the mistakes that were made, the complications that happened, and we learned to forgive. By doing so, that allowed us to be able to continue Michael's legacy, because that's what he would have wanted us to do. His inspiration has made our family do what we do, and that is to try and help children that are battling this disease and to find a cure one day for childhood cancer.
And we've turned our tragedy into triumph, which is something that was difficult at times, but we have conquered, and we are not going back. We will just go forward in a positive light and make a difference.